What up, fam? It's your boy, SlumDogBoy2024, streaming to you live. Yeah, as you can tell, I figure I only have roughly 30 minutes of daylight left to read this book by, so I'm going to try and wrap this one up semi-quickly. But yeah, I was thinking of content to do for the channel, and I remembered that I promised way back when that I would review all of the DC Black Label books, an ultimate fool's errand, because DC is still coming out with them all the time. There are plenty of books for me to catch up on, so I was at the comic book store the other day. I remembered I kind of had that mission statement, so I grabbed one off the shelf. I was like, all right, let's review another one. So here we have Batman vs. Bigby, A Wolf in Gotham. This is a crossover of Batman and also the Vertigo series Fables. I don't know how many people know about this one. The timing of this was interesting because Fables ended. It was a Vertigo book, like I said, ended back in 2015 or so. But this book came out in 2022, and it kind of signaled the return of Fables. Fables got a bunch of Vertigo books were kind of getting these like limited re-release, limited sequel type of things, like limited series. Sweet Tooth got one. Fables got one. A couple got them. It was like a 12-issue. American Vampire was another one. They got like these little 12-issue sort of sequel reboot things, and then they went back to being canceled, you know. But that's what Fables got. I'm trying to find a collection of like the new Fables comics to review as well. But yeah, let me start off by saying a brief little history of my relation to these two properties. So Batman, obviously everyone knows Batman. I've read several Batman comics. I've read some of the classics like Batman Year One, The Dark Knight Returns by Frank Miller. I've even, I think I've said before, my favorite Batman comic is actually one starring Dick Grayson Batman. It's one that a lot of people haven't heard of. It's called Batman the Black Mirror. But yeah, I'm just one of those people. I don't know how people still get excited over Batman stuff, to be honest. Like I'm kind of jaded. I'm kind of like Scott Snyder's like the only writer these days who can kind of like get me interested in a new Batman comic. I don't know. I've seen it so many times. People get excited like, oh, Batman's gonna fight Joker again. Batman's gonna fight Two-Face again. I'm like, all right, cool. So it takes a lot for me to like be interested or pick up a Batman comic. But these Black Label books, like what was the last one I did? Batman versus Joker, Deadly Duo or whatever. That book, you know what? That sold me. The premise sold me. The God tier artwork by Mark Silvestri sold me. So I'm giving another Batman book a try. And this one is noteworthy because it's a crossover with the Fables series, most notably Bigby, the Big Bad Wolf from. Well, I have not read any of the Fables comics. Like I said, I'd like to, but. A video game by Telltale Games called The Wolf Among Us was a loose adaptation of the Fables comics, and that is fire. I was rewatching Spoonie play some of Wolf Among Us the other day just to get back in the Fables mood, and yeah, that game still holds up. That game is still actually old at this point. It's like, what, 2013 or so. Still waiting on Season 2. That's kind of like my Half-Life 3. Still waiting on Season 2 of Wolf Among Us. That's still Telltale's best game, but they just refuse to make a sequel to it. Supposedly we're getting Season 2 sometime this lifetime. I wouldn't hold my breath though. But yeah, so I love the universe of Fables, at least the Wolf Among Us. So I was pretty excited. I'm more excited for like the Bigby stuff than the Batman stuff, to be honest. But I do think that it makes sense for these two characters to cross over. I mean, they're both like gritty, you know, hard-boiled detective characters. So this makes more sense than like Batman running into Predator or Godzilla or something. You know what I mean? Like at least this crossover makes sense. There have been some pretty cool Batman crossovers. I still need to read Batman versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I've heard that's very good. And then Batman also crossed over with The Max from IDW. I want to read that as well. But neither of those are Black Label books, so like that would be something, you know, something extra. Something of note. I don't know the artist Brian Lovell. We'll talk about his art in a minute. But the writer Bill Willingham. What's interesting about this is I was reading that all 151 issues of Fables or whatever, they were all written by Bill Willingham. Like that's actually very rare where a book that's a series as long running as Fables, like 150 issues or so, they keep the same writer on every issue. Like, so that's a very unified, you know, vision. And they brought back the same writer for this crossover, which is very good. So we know that the Fable stuff will be, you know, on point, and obviously this is Bill Willingham's dream. Every comic writer's dream is to like kind of play in the Gotham sandbox, play with Batman, you know, that type of thing. Play with those toys in the toy chest, in DC's toy chest. My one criticism so far is, again, this is a Black Label book, which really doesn't mean anything at this point. Like, this could have just been any old crossover, and let me flip to the back here. It even says DC Black Label. It is mature rated. It is 17 plus. And so the original mission statement of Black Label was to have these like more mature storylines, right? These books with like Batman and Superman, but they're more violent, they're more sexual. You know, Batman Damned was infamous for having a scene where, you know, you see Batman's penis. And then issue 2 is rumored to have a topless Harley Quinn, but people freaked out so much over the Batman penis that DC pumped the brakes on that. And now all these books, they just feel very toned down, watered down. And so really, like, that's my main criticism is I don't see how this is Black Label. I don't see why this is 17 plus. I read this entire book. I didn't see a single fucking thing. I didn't see a single F-bomb. I didn't see any nudity. I didn't see any gore. I didn't see anything that would have been even the least bit objectionable to warrant that 17 plus rating. This could have been PG-13 easily. This could have been T-14 easily. And the reason I make a big deal about this is because really we lost this was a lost opportunity, a missed opportunity here, because going by The Wolf Among Us, I mean, play that game. I was again rewatching some footage and I forgot how mature that game is, despite its kind of cartoony comic book art style. Bigby is dropping F-bombs every 2 seconds. People are being decapitated. There are references to things like prostitution and sex. So like that, this comic could have easily been M for mature. It could have. And Bigby doesn't drop a single F-bomb. If you don't want to have Batman curse at all because of whatever his iconic status or whatever, that's fine, but that would have been a fun juxtaposition if you had Bigby constantly dropping F-bombs and Batman's like, hey, you can't say that. This is a DC book, you know. Robin's nearby. There are children present. But they didn't do that either, so it's unfortunate. I don't think this is worth being Black Label. I don't think this is worth being 18 plus. That's just my 2 cents. What I'm going to do is like what I've been doing before, where I just kind of read the first chapter to kind of, oh, look at this. Look at that. You get it right here. Here's Batman versus Bigby, a wolf in Gotham. Like this image is so cool. That's what I was saying. Like Brian Level's art, it's okay. It's serviceable. It reminds me of Scooby Apocalypse when I read that book. I read that book more for the conceit than anything else. The artwork was serviceable, and that's how I feel about Batman versus Bigby. The writing is on point. Like the story's on point. It's just the art that's it's kind of like. It's okay. It's okay. It doesn't set the world on fire. I'm spoiled. I'm spoiled on. Well, that was the other thing with Black Label was. The other thing is like you're buying these books because they're showcasing like the best DC artists. Like again, Mark Silvestri in Batman Joker Deadly Duo. That was some of the best artwork I've ever seen. So you know, compared to that, yeah, this is not it. This is not it. But let's just go through issue 1, and we'll see. We'll go from there. Okay, here we go. Chapter 1, Bat, Wolf, Worm, a wolf in Gotham. Gotham, 3 days before the incident. How many are inside? I don't know, Bird. Once I saw the mess, I got out quick. But you called us first rather than the police. Do the cops pay me to drop a dime? No, they do not. I'm paid to direct all news to you, so I do. Loyalty, you feel me? A man without loyalty's got no code. I'm still recovering from a cold, but I think my voice is holding out okay. That's why I'm just going to read the one chapter and hope my voice holds up. Anyway, fair enough, and good work, but go home now. We've got this. Robin to Batman. It's in the old Sinclair building, a virgin scene. Understood. Going in, alone. Yeah, my Batman voice is gonna... I don't know if I can do it. We'll see. Secure the perimeter. Hard or soft and invisible? Observe and report only. Call an additional assets from the Nidifice as needed. Stephanie and Tim are already en route. So yeah, we're doing some deep cuts with the Robins. That's what's interesting. This is like kind of a criticism of mine for this book, but also something I find interesting is it's not just Batman and Robin. Like you're gonna see all of the Robins, and like I guess Bill Willingham, he took this opportunity. He was like, hey, I want to do every Robin possible, and so why not? So yeah, for those of you who think Robin is just Dick Grayson, you're about to get a rude awakening. There are literally an army of Robins in this book, and Bill Willingham wants to show all of them. So that's interesting. This should have, I mean, I would have preferred to focus on just Batman and Bigby teaming up. But yeah, I mean, it's fun to have all the Robins. And so it's not just Dick. We also have a reference to Stephanie and Tim Drake. Stephanie, yeah, well, okay, let me keep reading. We'll get to Stephanie. So yeah, that's our boy. That's Bigby. He's perched, looking cool, smoking a ciggy, looking just as cool as Batman. Who's cooler, Batman or Bigby? I don't know. They're pretty tied right now. Making entrance. Squatter's Den. See if I can get through issue 1 with some daylight. Or it was recently deserted now. except by the dead. First body, 2 or 3 years old by the smell. 2 or 3 days old by the smell. Your source was right. Location, 2nd floor, southwest corner room. I can't do the Batman voice, so I'm gonna give up on that. Possible animal attack. Like the previous cases. Once again, the bite radius is not normal. 2nd body, ground floor front. Across town. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gathered here tonight to say bon voyage to our colleague, Mr. Austin, who is elected to cash in his profit sharing. Care to share your retirement plans, Austin? A warm beach somewhere without phones, Wi-Fi, or any other devices, and a stack of books this high. That sounds like paradise to me. A commendable expatriation, old friend. Much to be envied. You've been an excellent comrade in arms, reliable and adept, whether in mission planning or taking part in good old-fashioned back-alley knife and buckle fight. We'll miss you. And this is the main villain of the book. This is Bookworm. Bookworm is, I thought he was a Fables character, but believe it or not, well, it gets complicated. We'll get into that in a second. But Bookworm is actually an old Batman villain. He's from the he was created for the Adam West Batman TV show, to give you an idea. That's how old he is. But he did become a part of the mainstream comics. So they chose an interesting villain. An appropriate villain for a Fables crossover. I'm so glad they did something like this instead of, like, you know, Batman and Bigby have to fight Joker, or if they have to fight Two-Face. Like, that would be so lame. It's like, let's do something different for a change, you know, especially since this is like a special crossover event. So yeah, all of his henchmen are named after different authors. If you can't tell, like Austin, Salinger. There you are, Mr. Salinger. You've nearly missed the celebration. A word with you, boss? That's it? You're just going to let Austin go? Quit with everything he knows about us and your operation? What other choice is there? Austin's lost the fire in his belly and deserves to retire to enjoy the fortune he's accumulated. The other choice is he drops off the face of the earth. Oh, am I suddenly the and they even make that reference. Oh, am I suddenly the Joker? Are there no gentlemen criminals left among the barbarians? Never mind, rhetorical question. Were you able to pick up Mr. Ostergaard? Yeah, I'm assuming that's an author. I never heard of him. Prepped and ready for you in the back room. And here we go. So like here sometimes the art doesn't look great, but here's a good shot. Here's a good shot. This is a cool panel. So sometimes Mr. Level's art looks really good. Well, 5 bodies all told. One of them is interesting. Each one appears to be the victim of animal mutilation. A giant wolf, right? Like the others? And Gotham is his hunting ground? We'll see. But hold on. And so yeah, here's you want to talk fucking deep cuts, man. So yeah, here we go. All these Robins. So that's Dick Grayson Robin, who honestly, the timeline is all screwed. This is out of continuity, but like, yeah, don't even try to think about continuity. But Dick should obviously be Nightwing. He's still Robin. But then we have in the hood with the staff, there's Red Robin, Tim Drake. And then we have Blonde Chick. We have Stephanie Brown Robin. That's a deep cut. I'm surprised Bill knew about Stephanie Brown Robin. That was like a very short time period. That was like a year in comics history where Tim stopped being Robin and his girlfriend, the vigilante spoiler, became Robin for like a flash in the pan, for like a second. And that was, I need to go back. I want to read that storyline because I've heard things about that. But like, from what I understand, that was the one where like Batman was just like a huge asshole for no reason. Like he just kind of, Stephanie tries to be Robin and like, he won't even like give her a chance. He just kind of yells at her. He's like, you know, you're like, I'm not exaggerating. He's just kind of like, you're a girl and girls are weak and girls can never be Robin. Rah, you know, get out of that costume, Stephanie. And it's like, I mean, what about Barbara? Isn't she Batgirl? Like, how's that any different? You're okay with her being spoiler, but you won't let her be Robin? And what about, you know, Dark Knight Returns? I guess that's technically AU, but like, you know, Carrie Kelly was a girl and she was Robin, and you had no problem with her being Robin. You know, it's just hypocrisy, Bruce. Bruce being a fucking hypocrite as usual. But anyway, yeah, I feel bad for Stephanie. I think she deserved to be. I bet maybe that was Bill Willingham's. That was Bill's mentality. He's like, I think Stephanie deserved better. I think she deserved another chance of being Robin, so he like put her in this book as Robin. That's kind of cool. I always thought the Robin costume did look pretty good on like a female body, and like her blonde hair goes so well with the yellow cape. Like it's cool. I like Stephanie Brown Robin for like the 2 issues that she was Robin. Yeah, here's another cool panel. Like look at this, where he's like flying off on the grappling hook. Time to call in the police, an anonymous tip. Protect the scene until they arrive, but from a discreet distance. Don't let them see you, then disperse. Take separate routes back to the nest and keep your heads on swivels. Maximum security. What are you going to do? I'm going to go find someone to hit. I guess you heard the man. I'll stay back and babysit the crime scene. You two split up and vanish. So my little issue reading this with all the freaking Robins that are out there, Aside from Stephanie, it's pretty clear, which one is the girl Robin, but, it's so hard to tell apart all of the Robins. I don't even know if Damian appears in this comic. I don't think he does, but, like, we've got, like, right now, here's one Robin, here's a Robin, that's a Robin. Like, who's Tim, who's Dick, who's, like, and then there's other ones that are, like, trainee Robins that are introduced. They all have, like, that generic Dick Grayson-ish character design, so, like, it gets pretty annoying. I don't know. I mean, I guess it makes sense as far as, like, being uniform, like all the Robins should look kind of the same, but it gets confusing for like the reader, you know what I'm saying? This is a cool little like, look at this, like with all like the open books, like transitioning, like that's really cool. A lot of style, like maybe the artwork isn't, like the artwork itself isn't amazing, but like the style kind of makes up for it, if that makes any sense. Remind me, who's this again? Charles Ostergaard, I'm assuming that's an author. He curates the Tagus Cadiz collection. Oh, of course, good work. Sorry to interrupt your evening, Mr. Ostergaard, but you've information I require. Let me introduce you to Mr. Salinger. He's quite well-read, as are all of my associates. You're about to discover that his particular area of study lies in the obscure cutting arts, particularly in furtherance of extracting information from reluctant subjects. So yeah, basically we're gonna torture the hell out of you unless you tell us. What are they looking for? They're looking for like a book or something. Yeah, there's always like a MacGuffin. Everyone wants like the special book or whatever from the Fables world. Now, if you excuse me, I have other matters to attend to, so I'll leave you gentlemen to it. But I don't know why you did this to me. What is it you want? Good evening, Mr. Ostergaard. Here's the thing. You're going to die tonight. What? Why? That much is preordained. But the manner in which you depart this mortal coil, oh, that has yet to be decided. He has like look at this. He has like a boxer stance. Is he gonna beat him up? Is he gonna punch him? Oh no, he's gonna operate on him. And the difference is about to become everything to you. Your sun and moon and stars. Yeah, these are some good lines right here. I like this villain here, actually. Perfect candor begets an exit of comfort and even a species of bliss. Otherwise, you'll die only long after you've begun begging me to kill you. Please, I beg of you. He's already begging. Please, I beg of you, don't do this. I have a wife and young daughters. Do you have a will? What? Yes. And I like this little border of like showing him with his family. And it borders like him little memories. Good, because a man who doesn't take the basic prudent steps to provide for his family is no kind of man at all. Shall we begin? Yeah, that's a cool shot. Where you see the reflection of his victim in the scalpel. That's a really cool shot. Like his eye overlapping the villain's eye. There's some really cool stylistic choices. I'm really liking this book actually. I really like this book a lot. I thought this was Snow White. I really did. I don't know the Fables comics or the Fables cast that well. This is actually somebody else from what I understand, but it looks just like, maybe that's intentional. Maybe that's like a callback, but like, doesn't she look like Snow White from the game, from Wolf Among Us? From Mayor Snow. You were alone in there. Not so. Salinger was with me. Exactly my point. Alone behind a locked and soundproof door without me to guard you against Salinger? He's loyal to a fault. As are all of your henchmen, except that they may not be if they begin to suspect who you really are. Yeah, so both of these people are not who they appear to be. I'll get into that towards the end of the book. But yeah, as far as you know, at the moment, he's Bookworm. A Batman villain. A cheesy Batman villain. Isn't that why you brought me over with you to watch? Yes, he brought her over from the Fables universe, and I'll reveal who she is later. But again, she looks like Snow White. Isn't that why you brought me over with you to watch your back? Point taken. Yeah, her name is Mrs. Stacks. Point taken, Mrs. Stacks. I surrender to your caution. Now, if my well-earned scolding is concluded, may we adjourn to see if any of Mr. Austin's retirement cake remains? That's a cool image with the bat signal. 2 days before the incident. Over 200 authors, including Stephen King, Diana. I love the Wonder Woman reference. Was Diana an author in universe? I don't know much about Wonder Woman's history. Like, I think she was. I know that's her human identity, Diana Prince. Was she like an author at one point? That's funny. Over 200 authors. What a deep cut. This guy's all Bill is all about the deep cuts. Fucking Stephanie Brown Robin. Over 200 authors, including Stephen King, Diana Prince, and the renowned celebrity chef Wen Kajulian, debuting his new book, Recovered Recipes. And speaking of things recovered from the ages this year, thanks to a generous grant from the Wayne Foundation, the Literary Festival will feature a parade of vintage bookmobiles from throughout history and around the world. You called, Commissioner? Thanks for coming, Batman. And you are... Let me introduce you to Lieutenant Molly Grace, a new transfer. She's transferred from Fabletown. She's a transfer from Detroit. She's totally not from Bigby's world. She's totally not a new character created for this crossover. And you are, Lieutenant Molly Grace. And I do know who she really is. I'll reveal that at the end. She's lead detective on the Wolf homicides. I have to confess, it's a strange experience meeting you, Batman. She said she's from Detroit. Back in Detroit, most of us on the job never quite believed you were real. Tries to shake his hand. Is he going to shake her hand? He does not. Here in Gotham, half the PD wants to be my pal, have beers together after shift, and add me to the regular distribution. The take, detective. He is referencing our notorious corruption problem, which I'm dealing with. It takes time to move the bad apples out. The other half wants to arrest me on sight. Which camp do you fall in? None of the above for now. Can I get back to you if that changes? I like how she responded there. And that's scary. Batman, the artwork looks really good here. Batman should never smile. That's very disturbing. Like with his devil horns. Like, yeah, Batman's smiling for once. Can we get to the business that concerns us now? This is the fourth wolf-related killing and the first with multiple victims. So yeah, the villains are basically they're framing Bigby. They're making it look like there's like a wolf that's killing people, and of course when Bigby shows up, Batman will think that the wolf is the one killing people, when Bigby is in fact innocent and he's just trying to investigate what the hell is going on. Anyway, that tells me our killer is stepping up its need for, I don't know, blood. If it were a human, I'd say their need for thrills. Or it might mean they found the extra bodies convenient for staging the scene at the latest location. What are you getting at? Only asking questions at this point, such as what is an investment banker doing in that part of town, sharing an impromptu crash space with squatters and junkies? My turn to ask questions. How do you know one of the victims was a banker? Because he had to look at the crime scene before we did, right, Batman? It's what he does. But I left the evidence undisturbed as a courtesy. As a favor in return, I like to see the forensics from all 4 sites. You gathered fur and animal saliva, both supporting the theory that our killer is a wolf. So our villains were very methodical as far as framing Bigby, making it look like these are all wolf attacks when they were in fact not. That's a long issue. I think we're almost done. Any problems with it? What do you mean? What have you noticed that doesn't fit? You're not convinced our killer is a wolf. Let's say I'm skeptical. I'm wondering why a giant wolf doesn't leave larger than the normal hairs behind. Of course, I only had time for a quick observation. And what kind of wild animal of any size makes sure to first disable every public security camera in the area? Oh, that's a good point. It's a bad part of town. People wreck those things as soon as they're installed. True, that could be it. Must be just a happy coincidence for our wild beast always choosing areas with no camera coverage for each attack. That's a good point, Batman. And what did you learn from Mr. Ostergaard? Nothing. He's clean. He doesn't have the book. You're certain? I kept it at him for 21 hours. In the end, he desperately wanted me to know everything he needed me to know. Oh well, back to square one. Have Mr. Burroughs and Miss Faulkner dispose of the body in the usual way, and prepare Operation Alexandria. So dramatic. Since questioning Gotham's most likely individuals has gotten us nowhere, we'll have to go ahead with something more spectacular. Yes, even though I hate spectacle. Just looking ahead for a second. Yeah, we're almost done. Meanwhile, cute light. Oh, he's making fun of the bat signal. Cute light. What did you say? Did you make fun of the bat signal? Batman freaks out. Batman's crashing out. You! No smoking on this premises, you! He just tackles him. You! No jaywalking! You've been dogging my trail for the past 3 days. I like to, you've been dogging. Get it? Because he's a wolf. Anyway. But Batman doesn't know that, so that was an unintentional pun. You've been dogging my trail for the past 3 days. I'd like to know who you are and how you were able to do it. And why. I'm impressed. Before now, I'd have sworn nothing mortal and mundy. That's like the Fables term for real world, like non-fable people or whatever. The mundies. The mundanes. Before now, I'd have sworn nothing mortal and mundy could ever sneak up on me. Wrong answer. Knocks him. Settle your fancy pants self down. What are you, some kind of crazy? You had your chance to explain yourself. Now get up. I've got no beef with you. But if you insist... Ouch! Kicks him. Stop it! He, throws him. Damn. You're a bad look that you caught me in a very bad mood. Yeah, Batman in a bad mood. That's really scary, catching Batman in a bad mood. He picks up you see that? I like how they zoom in on that. Batman picks up a fucking brick and just smacks him in the jaw. Damn. Batman's playing dirty. This is Batman versus... It's happening right now. Batman versus Bigby. You're a tough one. No problem. Psh. I outfight tough guys every day. Superman, no big deal. And yeah, knockout gas. That's cheating, Batman. Come on. You're supposed to beat him in a fist fight. One day before the incident. Huh? What the hell? Yep, all chained up. And he's in the Batcave. Are you kidding me? Next, blow your house down. So yeah, I would definitely say definitively we had our round 1 boxing match with Batman versus Bigby. Batman kind of cheated and used a sleeping capsule to like sleeping gas to knock out Bigby when he couldn't beat him in a fist fight. Pardon me. Bigby is now captured inside the Batcave. And I find it interesting that they always do these little stingers for the next issue, blow your house down. Throughout this entire series, you do see him transform. It's really cool. But I just realized, yeah, he never uses his super breath power, which is so cool in Wolf Among Us when he fights Bloody Mary at the end. Do you remember that scene where he transforms into the wolf form and he huffs and he puffs and he uses his super breath to like knock back all of the Mary clones? He never uses that power in this. That would have been a cool moment. Bill, you're the Fables expert. Why didn't you have him use that power, Bill? You're supposed to make your character look awesome. He's too busy making Batman look awesome because everyone wants Batman to look awesome. But yeah, let me show you one more quick. I love this 2-page splash. So Bigby, you know, he doesn't want to be prisoner for very long. So Bruce wakes up. He's gonna get ready to interrogate him, and he sees that Bigby has escaped, and not just escaped. He is trashed, absolutely trashed the Batcave. This is such a cool 2-page splash. Alfred and Bruce are just like standing there with the jaws open. It's like, oh my god, look at all this work he left us with. He ruined everything. And that keeps coming back. Like, Bruce is so petty. Bruce is so, like, annoyed. He keeps saying, like, oh, it cost me all this money to fix the Batcave. Or, like, he's driving, like, this shitty old Batmobile, and Bigby's making fun of it. And he's like, well, you know, I have, like, 20 of these, but 17 of them were crushed when some asshole destroyed my Batcave, so I only have 3 left, and they're all, like, the vintage models, so they're arcane by, you know, modern Batmobile standard. You know, he just keeps bringing it back up. He's so pissed off. He's so, like, passive-aggressively mad about, like, his Batcave getting wrecked by Bigby. And then Bigby's like, well, you know, you didn't have to trap me there. You didn't have to, like, knock me out and trap me there. We could have just talked about it, you know. You can't really blame me for wanting to escape and not be your prisoner. Sorry. And, yeah, here's, like, the Robin training camp. And, like, yeah, there's, like, I think this is a reference to, like, I don't know. There's so much stuff with DC and Batman and Robin. And, like, I know there was, like, an event called Robin War, because there's so many fucking Robins at this point that there was, like, a war between the Robins. I think this is a reference to that. Like, there's so many Robins. Like, right now there's, like, a Robin training camp. And, like, the trainees that are, like, really good get to come on, the mission later or whatever. There's too many damn Robins, okay? I thought there was too much when it was, like, you know, it should be Batman and Robin. But then there was Dick, and then there was Jason, and then there was Tim. Tim was the third Robin. And I thought that was, like, pushing it, but I was like, all right. You can have your third Robin as long as you, like, calm down, and like that's it. Like, Tim Drake is Robin now, and now we're on Robin 4 or 5 or 6. I don't even know anymore, and that's not counting all of the weird interim Robins and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I just wish there was a little more mature content in the book. And to his credit, I want to jump to this page real quick. I'll read this real quick. But so this is. You know, it's funny that this is not in Batman continuity. However, this is in Fables continuity, and this takes place after the end of the original run of Fables, after issue like 151 or whatever. Because Bill Willingham, who obviously wrote all those issues, he doesn't care if you're not familiar. Like, he makes these deep cuts, and for the Fables fans reading this, he's like, oh yeah, here's what's up. Here's like a primer. Here's what's going on. So there was like a big fire to this castle. That was like the biggest, like, last event in the Fables comics, I guess. As you've no doubt figured out by now, I'm not from around here. I come from a world many worlds away. Believe it or don't believe it, I don't care. I don't much care, but it's true. The important part is there was a massive explosion that destroyed a place that held many powerful things, including a number of books. Some of those deadly things went spinning off into other places, other worlds. And so that's how this very important MacGuffin book from the Fables world ended up in Gotham City. And hence the plot of our book. Hence the need for our crossover. And here's Bigby with his partner, Detective Molly Grace, who is actually Cindy, who's actually Cinderella. I don't know if they're romantically involved or not, but he does have a daughter, and this image at least I don't know. Fables fans, let me know. I know Bigby has a daughter. Who is his wife? Who do you have the daughter with? Is it Cindy? Is it Cinderella? This image kind of implies it. I don't know. Anyway, it took us some time to piece together what had happened. Then we spent years tracking all of them down. This is the last of the missing swords. What's left? Who's we? A few friends. Magical beings with enough of a sense of duty to come out of retirement. Like you? No one's like me. I like that. Can we get back to it? The last missing item was a book, and after too long a time, we finally tracked it here. Can I stay with you, Daddy, and help out? No, darling. It's best you just drop us off and come fetch us when we call. So he got to this world. His daughter is able to teleport people between dimensions or between worlds or whatever, I guess. So that's how he got in Gotham in the first place. Him and Cindy. So I like the little explanation. That's all you get for you Fables fans who were like, oh, what's going on? You know, what happened in the Fable universe? Here you go. And that kind of brings you up to speed. And then people like me, honestly, it's good enough for people like me who have no idea about anything. I kind of understand what's going on, and it makes me curious enough to read the Fables comics. I think that was kind of like the main mission statement of this book is like have a fun crossover with Batman and Bigby because they are kind of similar characters, but also, you know, Fables is coming back with a limited series revival. So get people hyped, get people interested in Fables, get people to like at least know about it who don't know about Fables. Yeah, I mean, you know what could also get people interested in Fables is fucking season 2 of Wolf Among Us. That would get people hyped up for more Fables comics. But you know, we're still working on that Telltale like 20 years later. Pardon me. I bookmarked something else. Give me 1 second. But yeah, she's beautiful. I think that's supposed to be his wife. I don't know, but yeah, Cinderella, Cinderella, same thing. Here's another really cool splash page towards the end of the book. We have this awesome double, this tag team match where Batman and fully transformed Wolf Bigby are fighting the main villain, Bookworm, who it turns out he's possessed. He's like, who's that professor in Harry Potter? Quirrell had Voldemort inside of him, so he had like the face on the other side of his head. It's the same thing. Bookworm has like this Fables character inside of him, so when he takes off his hat, there's like another face. And then he had that woman, Mrs. Stack or whatever. But turns out she is actually, she is Grendel's mother because she has like a monster form. So the two monsters fight, and then Batman fights Bookworm, but he has a real name. I forget. He's a Fables character though. Totenkinder or something. Again, Fables fans would know who that is, but they have a cool little double fight here. And actually, let me go back and show you real quick. There was a round 2 of Batman versus Bigby. Yeah, this was pretty fire. You gotta see this. So Batman, he suits up. He's got like the armored Batman suit from when like he does stuff like when he fights Superman, and he's fighting, because he's fighting a giant freaking wolf. So it makes sense. My hot take is I like the armored Batman design. I just think, post Batman v Superman, it's just we've seen it too much. He's like always wearing that in the Arkham games. I've just seen it too much. But like for like select missions like this, he's fighting a giant werewolf, for God's sakes. Sure, break out the armored Batman suit. Sure, just don't overdo it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's a cool image there. So they have a cool round 2 fight. I won't spoil who wins that fight, but it's a really good fight. Anything else? Yes. So the villain is confronted at the very end by Cindy, and she shoots him, and that's a really cool full page splash there. Again, Brian, what's his name? Brian Level's art sometimes pops. It's popping right here. Cindy looks fucking awesome. Just like have his head explode or something, like in Wolf Among Us, characters' heads would fall off, and you'd see like their bones, you'd see like organs fall out, when they get eviscerated. Like, it was a mature game, and I'm sure the Fables comics are just as mature. I wanted that here. I wanted, Bill to kind of, I don't know if that was like a mandate from DC where it's like, no, Batman's in this book, it can't be too violent, it can't be too sexual. Then why rated 18 plus? Why rated 18 plus? Oh yeah, I wanted to mention that. So this is fun. So Bill's version of Batman, I like this version of Batman where he's not like an invincible bat god. Like he gets beat up all the time, and Alfred always has to patch him up. And he's actually very like afraid of Alfred. like when he's all beat up and he's like sneaking out to go on a mission with Bigby, he's like afraid that Alfred's gonna find out and scold him. Like it's really funny. But yeah, he sneaks out, and then Alfred's like really pissed. Like, look at this. Are you kidding me? look at you. Look what you did to yourself. You'll fix." And like Bruce is like kind of an asshole. He's like, "Well, you'll fix me, Alfred. You always do." And he's definitely taking Alfred for granted. And Alfred's so pissed. He's like, "No more. Not this time. You push and push, Mr. Wayne. But now you've pushed me too far. I quit." And I'm like, "Holy shit!" You know. And this is out of continuity. So like he could have like really quit. That would be funny. But they have a quick line because Robin kind of freaks out. I don't know who this is. Which Robin is this? Tell me. You know, at a glance. Like, but one of the Robins freaks out. He's like, "Oh no, don't worry, Robin. Alfred does that from time to time." So Bruce is just used to Alfred casually quitting and reapplying for his job. Like Alfred's just like rage quits all the time apparently, and Batman's like fine with it. He's like, "Oh no, he'll be back." That's problematic. That's a problematic relationship, Bruce. Come on. Anyway, yeah, and then this is the spirit that was inhabiting Bookworm. What's his name? Blah 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 blah. Yeah, come on out, Toten Kinder, which I think is German for dead children. Wow, that's dark. So there you go, a little darkness there. Yeah, no, this was really fun. I really enjoyed this. And then at the very end, when Bigby goes through the portal, Batman has a line with like, "I hope I never see you again," you know. But like, I think he said something similar to the Ninja Turtles, and then they ended up having 3 more crossovers. But those were much more popular. They sold much better. This book, I don't know if it sold that well. I'm curious about sales numbers because I don't remember a peep about this. Certainly not on the level of like Batman and Ninja Turtles. Like this crossover when it happened, no one really said anything about it. I only found this out much later. Because this happened in 2022. It was like 4 years later before I found out about this. But to be fair, it's like something like Batman and Ninja Turtles. Those are huge properties unto themselves. Fables has always been niche. So I get it where it's like, it's not as big of a deal. Oh my God, like Bigby is going to be in the same comic as Batman. For a select few, that's a huge deal, like myself. But I get that the comic readers at large were kind of nonplussed about it. They were kind of like, "Oh yeah, whatever. Batman crosses over with everything. Batman crosses over with Spider-Man. Who cares?" You know. Yeah. No. I hope they do another one, although I think it's doubtful. And then yeah, it was 6 issues long. The number of issues for each of these Black Labels like wildly varies. And I also don't like how the format is always different. I thought the whole gimmick was like the Batman Damned book where it's like, you know, super duper like you know, record size, like a record LP, I mean, like size format. Some books are like that. But then other books that are Black Label come out normal format. So it's like what? They don't benefit from the extra page real estate. Pardon me. Oh, my cough's coming back and I'm losing daylight, so I'm going to wrap this up soon. But yeah, I wish they had taken advantage of that as well, like the different format. They didn't do that. Those splash pages would have really popped with like the extra large, you know, page real estate. I wish that this book had been more mature. At least throw in like a ton more F-bombs from Bigby. You know what I mean? It really doesn't deserve that 18+ rating. But yeah, and I do prefer the 6 issue. Well, some of these books are 3 issues long. That's fine. That's fine with me as well. 6 issues is fine too. This book felt like a little long, but 6 issues is totally fine. Don't go over that. These miniseries should always be around 6 issues, in my opinion. I know some books like Batman, Catwoman, when they get married or whatever, that's like a 12-issue miniseries. That's like a maxi series, man. Like 12 issues, like that's a lot, man. I don't want to read that. That's long. In my book, that's long. That's too long. Keep it to 6 issues. That's the one that I'll read if you keep it 6 issues. But yeah, my favorite Black Label probably at this moment still is the Batman Joker Deadly Duo. But this is up there too. This is really good. This is really good. I would give this a 9 out of 10 compared to like Batman Joker Deadly Duo is like a 10 out of 10. But yeah, I mean, hey, Bill Willingham got me to read a Batman book when I'm the most jaded anti-Batman fan. So there you go. That's someone's car alarm is going off. Because I've been taking too long. That's the alarm. I've been taking too long. Yeah, no, I'm excited to read more of these Black Label books. I know this is a fool's errand. I'll never catch up, but I'm going to read all these Black Label books, especially all these Batman Black Label books, because they always do like very interesting and weird and unique things with the character that you don't normally get to do inside of normal DC continuity, and especially like these little crossovers they do. So yeah, the Black Label reviews are back. Can't wait.